Hey Cindy, I'm doing good, thanks. You? Sorry, there's a bit of a delay on this for some reason. It goes through Google Hangouts. I don't know why. Not using the app yet. I'm keeping my coat on because I'm absolutely freezing. Got any snow here? Never seems to snow. We did have some snow, but it never sticks because we've got the River Mersey right next to us and all the salty air and everything to make sure it doesn't stick. And it usually rains before it snows anyway, so get plenty of ice though. Although, I'd like it to stick actually. I love the snow. And when it does turn into ice, I get my ice skates out and go ice skating in the street. Saves me having to go and pay to ice skate somewhere. Yeah, I was hoping he'd be on. I told him I'd tell him my ghost story I had from one of my old flats I used to live in. He was on last night though, wasn't he? Whereabouts are you from, Cindy? Nevada. That's strange having snow in Nevada. I thought that was more like a desert there. You want to hear my ghost story? Right. Well, about 10 years ago it was. I lived in a flat not far from here. And one day I was hoovering the stairs, and there's a gap between the stairs and like a false wall, and it's literally about that wide. But I had a look down the gap, and I saw a little yellow toy car down there. And I did try to get it out, but I couldn't. So I was trying with a wire coat hanger to hook it out. And then I never thought of anything since about it. And then a few months later, I had a couple of friends round, and we were down in the living room. And it was like where I was sat, I could look out of my door towards where the stairs were, going up towards the bedrooms. And I felt like really cold that night, as it was. And then I was sat there with my two friends, and I looked round, and I saw a little boy stood on my stairs, but he was coloured, but you could see through him. Then, and I refused that night then to sleep in my bedroom. So I actually got my friend to go upstairs and get me duvet, bring it down, and I slept on the sofa. Anyway, the friend that I had living downstairs from me, he actually wasn't there at the time because he's got bipolar, and he was in the psychiatric hospital at the time, and he knew nothing about this. But when he came out of the hospital, he actually told me that there was another person in the hospital with him who used to live in my flat. And I said, "Are you sure she lived in my flat?" And he turned around and said, "Well, you've got a pink bath suite, haven't you?" Because all my bath and sink and everything at the time was pink. And I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, she definitely lived in your flat, but she moved out when her little boy got run over on the road and killed a few years before. Now I'm convinced that that little boy that I saw was the little boy that got run over, and that was his toy car, and I couldn't get it out." And that just really sent shivers down my spine. So yeah, that's my ghost story. And it's true. I'm not making anything up. I didn't even believe in ghosts until I saw that one. But there was no other explanation for it. And the fact is that my friend that lived downstairs, he knew nothing of me seeing this ghost when he told me about what this woman had said in the hospital while he was there. So yeah, scary. But at the same time, it's sad because he was only like a 5, 6 year old little boy. Anyway, yeah, I think the delay is about 14, 15 seconds on this. So sorry about that. So what do you think to that ghost story then? And actually, as a result of that, I actually didn't sleep in my bedroom for about a week. I was too scared to go up there. Funny thing is now, I wouldn't be scared of ghosts. And, I love going into like scary situations now. Even going into scare mazes. I know some people that go into these like scare attractions, and they could be the most mild little thing possible with a few people saying boo, and they're having a heart attack, and I'm just laughing my head off. So yeah, not easily scared now. Yeah, it was a bit unnerving, but as I say, it was also sad, thinking about the little boy getting run over. So, but then I think about it and I think, well, what a 5 or 6 year old doing out on their own on the main road or something anyway, why were they in a position to get run over? I know it happens, but it's usually down to the parents not watching the child, isn't it? But I've never sort of like witnessed any sort of poltergeist stuff or anything like that. So I'm not sure. Plus, also my old flat, it was bound to be cold anyway because it was near winter anyway, and it had these old Victorian sash windows with the weights and all that, and they were really drafty as it was. But I don't know, this evening it just seemed really, really cold, like not like it usually was. Funny thing was, because I decided to sleep on the sofa, my mate wasn't happy because I made him sleep on the floor in a sleeping bag. So it says we've got 3 watching. Who else is on? Anyone? Or is it that ghost watching? So do you do magnet fishing as well, Cindy? I mean, personally, I don't do any magnet fishing. I'd love to, but I just, with this channel and that, I don't find really much time to be doing the magnet fishing as well. And I haven't got canals or anything near me. I mean, I've got a lake in my local park, and I've got the River Mersey, but there's no point in magnet fishing the River Mersey because you just wait till the tide goes out, and you can see what's on the beach anyway. Hey King Puggy, how's it going? Future trips. Well, I passed my test last year for driving, but I haven't got a car yet. So I am hoping that next month I should be getting a car. So once I've got a car, I'm going to be doing a lot of like UK trips to places I've not been to before, or places I've been to in the past, but before I was doing vlogging, so never filmed them. There's a few places in Wales I want to go to. I want to go over to the east coast of Britain, over to Great Yarmouth and Margate, and do the wooden roller coasters over there. Because at the moment there's only 10 wooden roller coasters in Britain, and I've done 7 of them. The other 3 are over on the east coast, so I'm hoping to get them done next year. Plus there's a new one opening at Alton Towers next year, so get that one done, and then hopefully by the summer I should have done all the wooden roller coasters in Britain. So far I can actually say I've done every wooden roller coaster in Ireland, because they've only got one, and I went on that literally about 3 weeks after it opened. It'd be good to say that I can get 2 countries out of the way and I've done all the roller coasters. I want to get down to Cornwall and go to Poulton's Park. So yeah, there's loads of like little places I want to get round. But I also want to try doing some vlogs down on some of the piers that we have, particularly Blackpool, because there's 2 piers there with them. So video games, I haven't really played any for a while, but the ones that I'm into are usually like war games, you know, Call of Duty, Battlefield, Medal of Honor, those sort of games. I do like the likes of Red Faction, but obviously they don't get made anymore. Cindy, did you watch That's Brad's video where he went down to the canal and it was frozen? And he just like chucked the magnet on, went through the ice, but then the other bit was holding the ice. And that bit at the beginning where you saw the goose going along on the ice, and I was just like, I would cry if that just fell through the ice. But yeah, I was kind of expecting someone like Brad or Ash to come up with that and go magnet fishing when it's all frozen. So what sort of computer games are you into, King? Yeah, it's just the problem we've got is that a lot of the piers, particularly like in the northwest of Britain now, don't seem to actually go over water anymore because the sand's all built up. So you can walk under a pier right to the end. So it's not really possible to do magnet fishing off them anymore. I say there's the ones in Blackpool. There is Brighton Pier, but that's quite a long way for me. I mean, that's a good 5-6 hour drive to get to Brighton Pier. Blackpool would take me about 2 hours. But I don't know. I mean, we've got a pier. The closest pier to me is the one in Southport. Um, Again, I mean, at the moment, it takes me about just over an hour to get there on the train. And again, there's no water at the end anymore. It's all silted up, so it's just a beach. I mean, I suppose, I mean, just up the road from where I live, not that far, we've got docks, the Birkenhead docks, where all the ships come in and berth up, offload, and off out they go. Not that busy anymore, but I'm pretty sure there'd be a lot of historical stuff maybe in there. You don't watch Brad? Oh, okay. Yeah, I reckon if I was to try doing magnet fishing around the docks and that, though, I'd probably pull out a few cars. Because that's what tends to happen around here. It's quite bad these days. You've got people stealing cars and motorbikes and things like that, and they all end up in the dock, or they end up in the park burnt out. What gets me though is you get a lot of people around here who complain about the amount of bikes and things that are getting stolen. You know, the scooters and things, and I've told them countless times the easiest way to immobilize it is just take your battery out and take your battery in because they can't get it started then. But they don't seem to listen, and they do say that the batteries are quite easy to remove as well. Yeah, I saw that one. It was the B-29 bomber that had crashed. The only thing about that was he said it was a World War II crash, but the plane actually crashed in 1948, so it wasn't really World War II. It was 3 years after the war. But it probably was a plane used during the war. King, what video games do you want me to play? What do you want me to do with video games? I haven't even got a games console set up at the moment. I've only got a PlayStation 3. Unless you want me to play my old Atari 2600 and play Pac-Man or Space Invaders. Yeah, that hailstone must have really hurt. Do you know, I've actually been on roller coasters which have literally started hailstone, and just as you've gone over the top, once you're over the top, there's no stopping it. It really hurts. But then again, even rain hurts on a roller coaster. Getting hit in the face with loads of wasps or something, you know, just stinging your face. And especially when you're told on a lot of roller coasters that I've got to take my glasses off, and you're getting it in your eyes. I mean, just the other week I was on a ride over in Liverpool and it was snowing, and that hurt, and I had to keep my eyes closed all the way around the ride. Is everyone all set for Christmas? Got all my Christmas presents in, all wrapped, ready to go. Except I'm going to be working all over Christmas, I'm afraid. As of tomorrow, I've got 6 days straight of 12-hour shifts in work. Yeah, I could do metal detecting, except I haven't got a metal detector. Maybe I should set up a PO box and see if someone will send me a metal detector. It's strange actually, because years ago, I mean, back in the 60s, we actually used to have a pier just down the road from where I live. Obviously, I don't remember it because I wasn't born till '83. But yeah, I mean, I wish that pier was still there. They used to have the Mersey Ferry, used to actually go there in a place called New Brighton. And if I go down to the beach now, where it was, you can actually still see in the sandstone where they cut it all out to actually put the pillars in. So where the pillars used to stand for the pier. But there is talk of actually building the pier again, but I don't know if they're going to do it or not. Um, they say a lot of things are council, and it never happens. I mean, they did say they were going to build a new open air swimming pool as well, but that never happened either. They just built a giant supermarket instead, and loads of restaurants. No, it doesn't look like Magnet Fishing Addiction's going to be coming and joining us. Be great if he did, as well as maybe Raven Girl. I was thinking maybe going to my local park and maybe doing some magnet fishing there. But I was thinking if I do that, I'm probably only going to get like fishing tackle, hooks and fishing lures and things like that. Um, but I always remember when I was a kid and I used to walk through the park, and we always used to get pennies, and we used to skim them on the water as we walked through the park. And I'm wondering if that's a tradition that's sort of carried on over the years with school kids. There must be a lot of pennies in there. So maybe if I get a magnet and chuck it in there, I'll get loads of money. Possible. Might give it a go. I can imagine those dirt storms. Seen them on videos and things. And the thing is, because they block out your sunlight as well then, don't they? So I'd imagine it goes quite dark. Probably, look up at the sky and everything's brown. And I bet it's a nightmare when you've just washed your car as well. It's funny actually. We had a factory not far down the road called Volkley, and I don't know what they used to make. It was all chemicals and things like that. And on pretty much on a daily basis, there was always something coming out of the chimney. And then one day they decided that they must have been burning something, but it turned into like a white, and literally everybody's car around where I live was just covered, and it looked like, I don't know, like a volcanic ash and things like that. And people were just absolutely fuming because they'd just washed the cars or something like that. And you could swear it had been snowing. It looked like snow, but like grey snow over everything. But the other thing was that because then people started washing the cars, and whatever it was actually putting like little scratches in the paintwork and things like that as well. So not happy at all. Yeah, I can imagine it'd be pretty pointless washing your car. Usually in Britain, you wash your car and it rains. But yeah, although where I live, people tend to wash their cars a lot more because we live by the sea and things, and the salt in the air corrodes the cars, so they try and wash all the salt off. Yeah, yeah, the salt does destroy the metal. So it's even worse as well when the gritters go along and they pretty much spray all the cars with salt, especially when it's raining, and it just sticks, and you just. I mean, I've seen some people being a bit silly where they've actually put salt on the car to get ice off the windscreens and things like that. Just so that because they haven't had any de-icer. And then they wonder why all the seals and things start going on the car. But yeah, it's absolutely stupid. So, you got any other interests, or just magnet fishing, or? I mean, as I say, I'd really love to be able to try out the magnet fishing. I mean, I've subscribed to quite a few people that do magnet fishing. I absolutely love watching them and pulling them out. Same with urban exploration, but the only thing I've ever explored was an abandoned theme park we've got, um, which is quite difficult because there's a lot of security about. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't mind watching them, and I do want to try them, but it's just finding the time to do everything. Um, I don't know. I mean, in Britain at the moment, all our theme parks are closed over the winter period, so maybe I can try and find something before they all open, like maybe do some magnet fishing or urban exploring. As long as it doesn't involve going under the water, that's fine, because the water around here is not very nice. It's very dirty. Used to race watercraft. That's brilliant. Exploring ghost towns. Yeah, I'd love to do that, but we don't tend to have any ghost towns around here. We have the odd building, um, but not whole towns. I know, like in America, you used to have like a lot of gold towns and things like that, didn't you? Like mining towns that have closed down and been abandoned. But we don't really have anything like that here. Um, the closest thing I say that we have to ghost towns are all underwater. It's like where they've like built a dam and a reservoir, and they've flooded an old village or something like that. That's the closest we've got. Yeah, I can imagine. The thing is if they were like gold towns, where they mined for gold, it makes you wonder if there maybe still be like little bits of gold still lying about, and you know, can you get down the mines and take a metal detector with you and see if you can find some gold? Because it might not be enough to keep companies going and that, but you could find enough gold to keep you going for the next year or so. I mean, I remember a friend of mine went to Australia, and he went to a in Australia, and they actually said, if you do find any little bits of gold down there or anything like that, you can keep it. Anyway, he came out with a piece about that big, piece of gold, and it was probably valued at just under about £1,000, something like that. It wasn't a huge amount, but it was enough maybe to, if he was to sell it, he could get a nice little holiday or something like that. Funny thing was, it actually does weigh quite a bit. For something so small, it was quite heavy. And as for racing watercraft, I have got a video on here of a speedboat I went on in Southport, and I'd say that's the fastest I've ever gone on a boat. Quite fun, actually. Hey, JJ, you all right? I'm not bad, thanks. I bet if you went metal detecting around the old mining town, Cindy, you'd probably find quite a lot of like old coins and things like that as well. The Irn-Bru Carnival in Glasgow? No, I've never been. Hopefully I will go though, sometime this year. I'm going to be hopefully doing a lot more stuff this year. All right, Jill. No worries. Yeah, hopefully I'll get up to Glasgow. I want to do a lot this year. Hopefully going to be getting a car soon, and then when I've got my days off from work and things, I'm going to be trying things out. I want to try like goose fairs and things like that as well. So yeah, I'm going to be hopefully getting a lot of use out of my GoPro this year. Right, okay. I probably won't be able to get to it this year. I mean, I've got 6 days straight in work starting tomorrow on 12-hour shifts, and I literally get like a day off, and then I'm back in for another 3 or 4 days, and I just don't know where I'm going to be at. And at the moment, I haven't got a car. Hopefully, getting a car next month, but I'll definitely look into getting up there next year. They work in a gold mine. That's I bet. Are they ever tempted to maybe bring a bit home with them? Me, I work in a nursing home as a carer. So it's hard work, long hours, 8 in the morning till 8 at night, and it's all on rotas as well. So you don't know what days you're going to be off in advance or anything. So I really don't know. But sometimes, I mean, I think on my rota, I've got like 3 days in a row off. But unfortunately, because I haven't got the car, I can't really get very far at the moment. Yeah, I've been looking at a Ford Focus diesel, so hopefully getting one of them. I actually saw one. It was an '04 registration, and it was actually going for 450 quid. And I thought, straight away, what's wrong with it for that price? But it turns out it's got 12 months MOT on it and things like that. They just wanted a quick sale, and they could test drive and things like that. Just unfortunately, I didn't have the cash right there, and I won't have the cash until I get paid next month. So, well, yeah, just something cheap, quick and easy that I can maybe buy, insure, tax for under £1,000, and still have some wage left over to pay my rent and things. Not a fan of Mondeos. I mean, I've always preferred to have like a Fiesta, but then I wanted something a bit bigger than a Fiesta, so that's why I thought a Focus. The thing is, I've only actually had my driving license for just over a year, and since I passed my test, I haven't actually done any driving. Well, not much driving anyway. Just a couple of times with borrowed cars. So I don't really want to go and get something big and expensive in that just yet. So I just want something that'll just get me A to B at the moment. You all right, McPizza? How's it going? Yeah, I don't think I'd want an automatic. I like being able to get, the gears and that. No, I won't have a Vauxhall. It's got to be a Ford. Don't like Vauxhalls at all. Gears are the wrong way around for a start. I'd be going into first gear and going into reverse, thinking I'm going into first gear. Why do I hate the Ultimate? Because it's rough. It hurts. Every time I come off it, I've got bruises on my knees and my shins. And I always find as well that the first part of the Ultimate is actually quite boring. It's a bit more interesting after the second drop, but nah. Don't get me wrong. If I go to like Water Valley, I'll still ride the Ultimate. I don't have to like it, but I'll still ride it. And I've ridden a lot of rides that I don't like. For instance, Hero in Flamingo Land. Can't stand Hero, but I'll still ride it just for the sake of it. Wow, quite tight security then, Cindy. Vauxhall Tigra. To be honest, they do look smart. They look like a nice car in that. I wouldn't want to drive one. I mean, back at Easter, I actually borrowed a Kia for a week, and I hated it. I really did not like a Kia at all. It was one of those Kia Carens, 7-seater, and it was horrible. It felt like driving a toy car. Yeah, Peter, with the Ultimate, I mean, I say I'd ride it. I still ride it now. It's not like I just completely walk away and say I'm never riding it again. But I don't really enjoy it compared to a lot of other coasters. And I think, riding it 3 times in one day, it knocks it out of you. It really does. It kills you. And I've got to also say that maybe it'd be a bit better if they could speed the lift hills up, because it takes ages getting up that lift hill, especially the second one. You get up the lift hill and then you go around that bend. It just takes forever. They need them chains to go a bit faster. Whereabouts in England are you coming to, Jill? Peter, I must be getting old. It must just be me getting old, shaking my old bones apart. I'm only 34, but yeah. Yeah, I'd love to do Icon. Can't wait for that to open. Are you tempted to give SW8 at Alton Towers a go as well? Britain's newest wooden roller coaster. I'm surprised they actually haven't told us the name of that roller coaster yet. The Hopping Sphere. Yeah, I'll have to give that one a try. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for the SW8 to open, but I still don't think it's going to be able to beat Megaphobia as a wooden roller coaster. I don't know. I just get this horrible feeling that Alton Towers are going to ruin it by doing a world's first on it somewhere. We don't even know what that world's first is going to be, but they're going to do something to it, which is just going to be like, why even bother? Because really, they should just concentrate on building a good roller coaster. It doesn't have to have a world's first. Our Nemesis is obviously better than Oblivion. Oblivion's only a one-trick coaster. They need to put an extension on Oblivion. When it comes out of that tunnel, it needs to go into a loop. SW8, I think, is going to be opening at Easter. Unless there's any delays, but there is rumours that they've already done a trial run of it, so everything seems to be on track to be opening. All right, Peter Pearson, take it easy. Speak to you soon. I'm probably going to head off myself now, Jill. I'm surprised Magnificent Addiction wasn't on. But if he's watching this back, at least he'll get to hear my ghost story anyway. But yeah, if you're heading off, I'll probably be live again, maybe just after Christmas. So yeah, take it easy, guys. I won't be on later, Jill. I'm going to be heading off soon anyway, because I'm going to be having an early night ready to start work early tomorrow. But yeah, I'll probably be on around about Christmas or just after Christmas. So if I don't speak to you all before, have a good one. My name's Dave. I'm Dave. And if you're seeing all my other vlogs and that, the other guy that I'm usually with the long hair, that's Chaz. And I know it sounds stupid, you know, Chaz and Dave, but yeah. But I do all the videos and things for Coaster World, and he does the website because he knows how to do it all. I don't. I haven't a clue with websites. Yeah, pleased to meet you too, Jill. Right. Well, everyone have a good Christmas if I don't speak to you before. All right.